Some new stories from Ethiopia. Today's third video is firstly an Ethiopian journalist who's been in prison for more than 4 months, around 4 months, has been released. Secondly, Kenya has refused to give access to investigators who want to know about the ongoing investigations into the abduction of a Tigrayan businessman. The businessman was abducted around 4 months ago. There are two videos in that. I think 2 days ago, his wife shared a video message as well. Why is Kenya refusing Ethiopian and international investigators to travel to Kenya? What's the problem? Why is Kenya not cooperating with Ethiopian government regarding the abduction of Tigrayan businessman, which happened in Nairobi in broad daylight around 4 months ago? Thirdly, viewers, Oromia, where Oromo Federalist Congress, OFC, political party of Mira Gudina, Jawar Bakle Garba, has openly admitted that its members, its top officials, are joining Oromo Liberation Army. Name of a commander of OLA is being shared, that he was working with OFC, but he joined Oromo Liberation Army. Why did he abandon political struggle and join armed movement? OFC is urging the government to learn from this development. An OLF leader has been released. And lastly, investors, businessmen, industrialists in Benishangul Gumuz region are finding it difficult to continue. They are fleeing, and that is why a new security operation is underway in the BG zone of Ethiopia. Firstly, viewers, an Ethiopian journalist who has been in prison for more than 4 months, around 4 months, was ordered to be released today. His name is Tamerat Negera. He was very vocal against Eritrea, against Oromia regional government. He was editor-in-chief of Tamerat Network, an online news source. Around 4 months ago, he was arrested. We saw a statement from Ethiopian Rights Commission, which raised questions about his detention. His detention was recorded. He was seen in a prison. Then we saw Balderas party has Naga visit Tamerat Negera. In Amhara region, politicians, groups have been calling for the release of Tamerat Negera. Why was it? Because he was very vocal against Oromia regional government. Whatever the reason was, but we saw mainly calls for his release from Amhara region. Now, reportedly, Supreme Court has ordered his release on bail for a bond of 50,000 Ethiopian birrs. Has he been released? We have not seen his pictures after release, but he has been released, or he will be released in coming hours. The court has ordered his release. I think 3 days ago, the government released AP journalist Amir Aman and his cameraman Thomas Ndiga. It was being rumored that both Amir Aman and Tamerat Negera were being charged with terrorism, but both have been released on bail. A very positive development, though he shouldn't have been arrested in the first place, but no charges have been officially leveled against him, though he was accused of backing TPLF's narrative of spreading disinformation. But in the court, no official charges were leveled, no formal charges were leveled against him, and he remained in custody for more than around 4 months. So he shouldn't have been arrested. If he was arrested, there must have been some sort of evidence against him. Otherwise, this 4-month detention, who will answer for this detention. Hopefully, he'll be out in coming hours. Secondly, viewers, a Tigrayan businessman who was abducted in Nairobi, Kenya is still missing. Kenyan government has refused to cooperate with Ethiopian investigators. Reportedly, some Ethiopian and international investigators, they requested the Kenyan government to give access so that they could be aware of the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of Samson Michael, the Tigrayan businessman who was abducted in broad daylight in Nairobi, Kenya around 4 months ago. But Kenyan government has refused to give access to Ethiopian and international investigators. Kenya has been very vocal against Tigray conflict. It has been calling for a peaceful solution to this conflict. Now, when a Tigrayan businessman is missing on Kenyan soil, Kenya is not cooperating with the Ethiopian government. It's not clearing the circumstances around disappearance of Samson Michael. It's the responsibility of Kenyan government to recover Samson Michael, to identify perpetrators who kidnapped him, but no statement from the Kenyan government about abductors and about location of abductee. This move from Kenyan government about not cooperating with the Ethiopian government could lead to tensions between the two countries. Kenya has been calling upon the Ethiopian government to delist TPLF and OLA as terrorist organizations, and Kenya has been calling for dialogue. Now, when indirect dialogue is underway, situation is improving. Kenya should cooperate with Ethiopian government. It should make itself clear about the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of Samson Michael. This move shows that it was being rumored that Ethiopian intelligence agencies might be behind the disappearance of Samson Michael, because he was a Tigrayan, he's a Tigrayan, and he was helping some Ethiopian displaced persons in Kenya, mainly from Tigray region. So it was being rumored that some intelligence agencies, intelligence agents from Ethiopia could be behind the disappearance of Samson Michael. But it seems that Ethiopian government is not behind the disappearance of Samson Michael. Other player which is pointed out by some is Ethiopian intelligence agency, that Ethiopian intelligence agents might be behind the disappearance of Samson Michael, though we have no credible information about that. Now it's up to Kenyan government to satisfy Ethiopian government, to satisfy the family of Samson Michael. 2 days ago, we saw a video message from his wife who urged Uhuru Kenyatta's government to recover her husband. But instead of recovering Samson Michael, Kenyan government is not cooperating with Ethiopian investigators. Thirdly, two new stories from Oromia. Firstly, an OLF leader has been released from prison. His name is Yaso Kabebe Hardofa. He was a leader of Oromo Liberation Front and a writer as well. Reportedly, he has been released from prison. And secondly, very important news story is about a statement of OFC, Oromo Federalist Congress. One of its leaders has been heard saying recently that his party officials, his party members are joining Oromo Liberation Army, especially in Guji, Borana, in southern Oromia. OFC's party members are joining Oromo Liberation Army. Murira Gudina, professor, head of the party, has also been heard saying that his party officials are joining OLA. Why? Because The party is under crackdown. Its members are being imprisoned. Its offices are still sealed. It is not being allowed to work freely for its political activities. That is why disgruntled its party members are joining Oromo Liberation Army for an armed struggle. It is being said that Jal Seise, who is one of OLA's commanders in Central Oromia, he was a member of OFC. He worked with OFC for 5 years. Then he decided to abandon political struggle and he joined Oromo Liberation Army. So OFC, Jawar Bekele Garba, Virogadina Party is urging the Ethiopian government to start talks with OLA and to give political space to political parties in Oromia. Otherwise, members of political parties, they'll abandon political struggle and they'll go for military struggle, armed struggle against Ethiopian government, Oromia regional government. So far, no signs of any talks between Oromo Liberation Army and Ethiopian federal government, Oromia regional government. Last reviewed Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia, where security operation is underway, like we are seeing an operation against OLA in Oromia, in BG as well, against Gumuz fighters and against OLA members. A security operation has been launched. Sources from the ground say that there is pressure upon Benishangul Gumuz government and Ethiopian federal government that investors are leaving the area, especially Metekal zone. Metekal and Asosa are two main zones where instability is on the rise. Businessmen are being targeted. Roads sometimes remain closed for days. New road constructions are still pending. So investors there, they're finding it difficult to continue their work. That is why we are hearing that investors are fleeing Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia, and that is why the government has launched an operation. But the operation is against guerrilla fighters of Gumuz group and OLA. OLA has also its presence in BG now. How successful is this operation going to be? That remains to be seen. Not the first operation against Gumuz and OLA fighters in BG, but in recent weeks we have seen that instability is on the rise in Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia, which has the dam site, Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam in Metekal zone. I think for watching.